Hi, my name is David Kam. I'm a movement artist and educator, and this is my story. I moved to the UK when I was 17. Before that, I was born and raised in Malaysia. Growing up as a kid, I don't think I even dared to question my sexuality because at home, homosexuality is illegal. Coming to the UK, it was nice because I was completely on my own, away from my family, and having that space just allows me to reconsider the simplest things like how I walk, how I talk, and what feels right for me. A big part of my exploration of my sexuality and who I am is movement. You know, coming from an Asian culture raised within my family, we don't share a lot of sentiment with words. And because of that, I've always found words to be sometimes quite paralyzing. I actually went into professional dance training. Every time I leave an experience of movement, whether it's dance or yoga, I feel great. The one moment that really stuck with me, this was a high stakes audition where I felt like, okay, this is one of my very few shots in being able to stay legally in this country, which at that time meant to be able to also hold on to my queer identity. The music started playing and I just don't know what came through me. We were taught this sequence of movement to repeat, and I did it in a way where it almost felt like it came from the soul, and that's a feeling that I keep with me to this day. As long as I can tap into that place of freedom in my body's home, and I carry my home wherever I go. Finding a way of being able to honor both my queerness and my heritage, and especially in the first few years of having come out to myself, I felt like it's an either-or situation. The faces I see that are queer heroes and champions, they're mostly Westerners. It's really rare for me to be able to find a role model who is Asian. Before the pandemic, I had the choice of whether or not I want to go home. But then when the pandemic hit, I felt like I didn't have the choice to go home. And it made me really miss home. It made me really think about the many beautiful aspects of home outside of the legality of, homosexuality. Finding a queer community, I have to say We Create Space has been so pivotal to that, because I've always felt like I've not really belonged to the queer community because I'm not queer enough. I'm too vanilla or too plain. We Create Space approached me and asked if I would be willing to hold a space of wellness for the queer community. And I really sat with it and thought, can I hold a community that I don't really feel like I belong in? And then only to realize that this is actually an invitation to be the representation that I have not quite seen. There were a few other queer Asians on screen, and at the end of the session they stayed on and they told me how nice it was to be able to see an Asian facilitator. So not just someone participating, but just someone on the other side holding them. It really meant so much to them. Movement is so beneficial for those who feel like they need a space to brew and to process. It grounds you back to your body, away from your head. The more we can tap back into that child self, but also that intuitive self of what I know I want instead of what I need to do. So to spend a bit more time in movement and to spend more time in understanding that is already a big step in figuring out who we are in essence. My dream has really always been being able to witness everyone with spark behind their eyes And I always believe that we're very empathic people, and if one person begins to fully embody freedom, it's just going to continue encouraging those around them to also be free, when we don't ever feel like we need to hide ourselves anymore.